I've been doing this since the year 2009, and you might ask, why didn't I do it in 2008? In 2008, I was trying to determine the state of the city, so I wasn't prepared to make a State of the Cities address in 2008. But since 2009, we've done this annually, and I really appreciate Council President Quinn and council members and city administrator and all of our staff that are here, and all of those at home joining us on television. It's my pleasure to do this annually, and I try to bring everyone up to date on exactly what's gone on in the city, what's currently going on, and what the future might hold in some areas. Historically, at this time of year, I share details about the various projects that are going on in the city. I cover financial points of interest, the revenue and expenditure numbers, our permit activity over the past year, and some general economic information about the region and the city, and the outlook for the upcoming year. This year, I decided to take a little bit different approach. It occurred to me recently that there are lists for just about everything. There are top 10 best movies of the year, top 10 songs, top 10 buzzwords, top 10 books, and there's even the 10 best and 10 worst tweets, if you're a tweeter, which I'm not. There are lists for the top 10 gadgets, cars, news stories, and commercials. That leads into my presentation tonight. I'd like to share my top 10 list with you, and I've called it the top 10 reasons to live, work, and play in Tukwila. Obviously, going into this, you will have a different top 10 probably. You'll have a different ranking of the top 10 I've got, but as food for thought, you might be thinking about top 10 in some of these categories. I'm going to start with number 10 and work forward to number 1. Number 10, in my opinion, is the continued funding support that is so critical to the city of Tukwila. We have 2 council members, our economic development manager and I will be going to Washington, D.C. later this month to solicit federal funding for the Strander Boulevard multimodal connector to match up with Renton's Southwest 27th Street. This is long overdue. Renton is completing their half of it currently, and our part was unfunded, but we have submitted a Tiger grant fund for $20 million, and the trip to D.C. will be to support that grant application and in hopes that we'll get the money to extend Strander Boulevard. But keep in mind that it is a new name, and there's a specific reason for that. It's the Strander Boulevard Multimodal Connector instead of Strander Extension Project. This extension will also provide an alternate route for trucks and traffic that use 405, SR 167, and our own South 180th Street. We need more east-west arterials in the valley. We are fortunate to have excellent working relationships with the Washington Department of Transportation, the Transportation Improvement Board, Puget Sound Regional Council, and other agencies that allocate federal and state funding for transportation and other projects. Their continued assistance helps us improve connectivity for our city and region and create employment opportunities and build for the future. We certainly appreciate their support, and several of those people join us at every one of our groundbreakings and ribbon cuttings. I feel we have a pretty close working relationship. Item number 9, location, location, location. We are fortunate to have one of the best locations in the state of Washington. Our proximity to SeaTac International Airport, the short drive to downtown Seattle, and the fact that we are at the juncture of Interstates 5 and 405 affords us some unique advantages. The Sounder Commuter Rail Station gives commuters, residents, and visitors quick and easy access into Seattle. The new Tukwila Transit Center that is currently under construction on Andover Park West will provide a safer, expanded, high-quality bus stop with shelters, larger bus pullouts, and improved lighting, sidewalks, and landscaping. This project is scheduled to be completed this fall. It will be tremendously safer than the old bus stops we've had there in the past. We've had many accidents and near collisions there. Construction of the new Tukwila Sounder Commuter Rail Station is well underway. Besides serving Sound Transit riders, the station will also handle Amtrak's 4 trains per day and numerous King County Metro Transit buses, including the new Rapid Ride F line, which will operate between Burien, SeaTac, Tukwila, and Renton. The new permanent station will also have improved walkways for pedestrians and bicyclists and be a great travel option for people coming into Tukwila to work, to shop, or to visit us. The Link Light Rail Station on Tukwila International Boulevard is very well utilized, and the downstairs platform bus bays for the rapid transit service are easy to access and very convenient for bus riders. I realize that parking is still very difficult during the work week, and especially on dates of major sporting events and other events in the Seattle area. We are cautiously optimistic that the new station near SeaTac's Angle 8 will relieve congestion at Tukwila Station because they will have parking out there. That remains to be seen, but Sound Transit seems to have the opinion that that will relieve some of our parking problems at the Tukwila Station. Remains to be seen. Getting here is easy, and once you're here, there are plenty of things to do in Tukwila. As home to the largest mall in the Pacific Northwest, over 100,000 daily visitors enjoy free parking and can shop at hundreds of stores, watch or play soccer at Starfire Sports Complex. They can golf at Foster Links. They can bowl. They can explore the Museum of Flight, or they can skydive at the only indoor skydiving venue in the state, our own iFly. My number 8 relates to Tukwila South. Tukwila South project, which covers about 512 acres just south of South 180th Street, promises to become a major urban area in the Puget Sound region. The project is estimated to bring 25,000 new jobs and 10 million square feet of office, technology, and retail space to the city. A new fire station will be located at the northwest corner of the intersection, or the foot of the previous 178th Street coming down that steep hill. Last fall, one of our most challenging roadways, the 178th Street Hill, was closed and redirected into a much safer, more gradual road to intersect with South Center Parkway. South Center Parkway is the new 5-lane road from South 180th Street to South 200th Street, and that has much improved traffic flows and will help us with all the new development and handle the traffic associated with that development and the Tukwila South development. Number 7 on my list is regional partnerships. I'm very proud to serve on the board of directors of Cascade Water Alliance. I serve on a lot of other boards and commissions, and I know our council members are very active in regional affairs. This is critically important to the city. The mission of Cascade Water, which I serve on, is comprised of 5 cities and 2 water and sewer districts. It's to provide current and future water supplies to the 350,000 customers and 20,000 businesses we serve in Kirkland, Redmond, Bellevue, Sammamish Plateau, Issaquah, Skyway, and Tukwila. This year, Cascade Water Alliance is celebrating its 15th anniversary with a day-long special meeting next week on May the 15th to celebrate their 15th year. I've been on the board the majority of the 15 years they've been in business, I'm proud to say. The Score Jail facility is another entity which opened in 2011. It's serving as our misdemeanor confinement needs for 7 member cities along with a number of our contract agencies. SCORE also provides programming space for education, community transition, and job training. The facility will serve its member cities for many years to come, and it's a state-of-the-art facility open for you to tour if you haven't toured the facility yet. Penny Bartley is our CEO, and she can schedule tours for you. Recently, the Valley Communications 911 Center implemented the new computer-aided dispatch system that referred to as CAD, computer-aided dispatch, which will provide much greater efficiencies for police, fire, and other first responders across our cities. Valleycom, Sound Cities Association, the Association of Washington Cities, and many other regional groups are all very important to Tukwila in helping promote and protect the interests of our citizens and our businesses. Intergovernmental teamwork has never been more important to the region. By partnering with our neighboring cities, we are able to accomplish major things that are important to all of us and much more difficult if we were to work individually on those same things. My number 6 is the financial picture of the city. I usually put a little bit more emphasis on this, but I won't be quite as detailed tonight. Our financial health continues to be very good. The city has benefited from the slow and steady improvement in the economy. In 2013, our retail sales tax exceeded the budget by $1.3 million. 20% of this increase was a result of construction sales tax. Our permit activity has seen an increase of almost 15%. This, to me, illustrates the importance of new construction activity and attracting new businesses to the area. In addition to increased tax revenues, departmental staff, in my opinion, have done an excellent job of holding or reducing operating expenses, which resulted in a savings of about $765,000. The net increase in the general fund was $3.5 million, due mainly to the city's receipt of the local improvement district reimbursement funds. This reimbursement also resulted in a $4.3 million increase in our contingency reserve funds. The total of those two are about that $7.8 million, $8 million. The way we funded and implemented the local improvement district to build the Klickitat project worked perfectly and as we planned. I'm very pleased that we're able to purchase 2 new pumpers for the fire department and pay off the golf course bonds of about $2.6 million. One of the things I hear most often from citizens is the need for more sidewalks and underground utilities. While our capital improvement program identifies many of these needs, they often require multiple funding sources. The city's current franchise agreement with Seattle City Light will expire in 2018. And we have already begun discussions that could result in greater financial participation by Seattle City Light in future years toward undergrounding utilities. Work will begin this summer on widening Interurban Avenue, a major city arterial. Sidewalks will also be added, improving vehicle and pedestrian safety in this area. This project should be completed in the fall of 2015, so that will be a little over a year-long project, but completed in the fall of 2015. It's important to remember that our businesses not only support the city's tax base, which pays for roads, sidewalks, and other amenities, but Tukwila businesses also provide jobs, shopping options, and services for our citizens. We have to continue to be proactive and innovative in order to maintain and increase our market share, our employment levels, and city services. Our ability to continue to provide superior services depends directly on the strength of our economy. We have begun development of the 2015-2016 budget, which will continue throughout much of the remainder of this year. Our community-driven strategic plan, which was adopted in December 2012, will help guide our actions and investments in the years ahead, and I believe we are well positioned to make sound financial decisions that reflect the needs, the desires, and the aspirations of all of Tukwila stakeholders. Gets me to number 5 on my list, our neighborhoods and residents. You might wonder why it's not number 1. Number 5 relates to goal number 5 in our strategic plan, so I thought it might be appropriate to list it as number 5. Goal number 5 of our strategic plan challenges us to pursue positive community identity and image. Throughout the strategic planning process, we heard a desire to improve the image of our neighborhoods. Our capital improvement plan identifies what needs to be done. More sidewalks, undergrounding of utilities, and the rebuilding of our subpar streets. The progress seems painstakingly slow at times, but we are doing everything we can to keep these important projects moving forward. I am happy to report that this summer we will start construction on two safe routes to school grant-funded projects. One is the Cascade View Elementary School shared use path and sidewalk between the school and South 140th Street, and the second is the Thorndike Elementary School sidewalk on the south side of South 150th Street from Tukwila International Boulevard to 42nd Avenue South. A couple of weeks ago, we shared a plan to increase efforts in code enforcement by reallocating existing resources, providing an additional temporary code enforcement officer, and increased administrative support. We are taking a more aggressive role, especially along Tukwila International Boulevard and throughout our residential communities. Our rental housing inspection program and our chronic nuisance properties ordinance are models that other cities want to follow. So congratulations to the council for placing those in effect. That really helps us in code enforcement. We are also working on ways to streamline processes to provide greater efficiency, and we will also be sponsoring an additional cleanup event for our residents. We will collaborate and work with other jurisdictions to address shared concerns and issues. I believe these efforts now and in the future will go a long way in helping improve our community image. We also heard the need to increase the shared sense of belonging and membership in Tukwila. One of the ways we've tried to address this is by developing better ways to connect with our residents. Thanks to a Sustainable Cities grant from the Boeing Company, the city was able to gain additional support from Forterra and Global to Local staff to support our work in creating and implementing a community connector program. Thanks to those groups. This program utilizes liaisons from our broad and rich cultural communities to share and collect information and create better understanding by both our residents and our city staff. We continue to provide services to our seniors, transportation to events, get-togethers at the community center, and Meals on Wheels. I'm very excited about the first senior housing that will be a part of the Tukwila Village project, breaking ground this summer. Quote, breaking ground this summer. This project will provide new housing opportunities for longtime residents who are ready to downsize but want to remain in Tukwila and be connected to this emerging, new, and improved area of our city. Like many cities in South King County, the need for help and resources continues to grow for a significant number of our citizens. This summer, the Tukwila Human Services Advisory Board will undergo the critical task of reviewing proposals from nonprofit agencies for consideration in the city's biennial budget. Funded programs provide necessary services to our neighbors that promote their health, well-being, and stability in our community. There has been a 15% increase in the number of proposals received so far compared to the last funding cycle, with over 20 agencies seeking funding for the first time. That's how in demand the services are. And I'll give Evie and her department credit for trying to meet this demand as best they can, but I would encourage, as we work toward our biennial budget process, that we give extra consideration for our human services and the needs that are presented to them. We continue to look for opportunities to partner with the school district and connect with our young people. Elementary students visit City Hall, second graders primarily, and learn about the inner workings of the municipal court and our police department. High school students have had the opportunity to job shadow city employees and learn about the various jobs across the city. And last fall, I suggested, which was at the urging of my wife Carol, I suggested the city consider a creation of a scholarship program. And I'm happy to say the council approved that. And we went forward, and our city council has approved the City of Opportunity Scholarship, the City of Opportunity Scholarship Program. And later tonight, I will be making recommendations of recipients to the City Council for their consideration and approval. I think the first year we did that, it was a rousing success. There are some things we can probably improve upon, and we'll talk about that later. It's important that we do everything we can to help our students be ready for the future, whether it's attending a vocational or occupational school, whether they want to go to a community college or a university, or just to enter the workforce on graduation from high school. These young people are the future of Tukwila. They're the future of the region. They're the future of our country, and we should be proud of them, and we are in Tukwila. My item number 4 is Tukwila Village. We are getting close. In 2012, the City Council approved a development agreement with Tukwila Village Development Associates for this major project on Tukwila International Boulevard at South 144th Street. The Board of Architectural Review approved the design of the first development phase, which includes the plaza and the commons and the library. That was last November you did that. The first building permit applications have been submitted, with construction starting this summer. The library and first phase are scheduled to be open in 2015. The second phase in late 2015/2016. And the third and final phase in 2016 if we stay on the current schedule. The addition of Tukwila Village is going to do much to bring positive changes to this important part of our city and help ensure that new development along Tukwila International Boulevard reflects our vision for the city of Tukwila. Number 3, economic development. The city has placed a high priority on reducing crime along Tukwila International Boulevard since it was annexed into the city in the early 1990s. We adopted a Pacific Highway Revitalization Plan in 1998 to help eliminate blight and improve that area, and later adopted an update to designate the area an urban renewal area, allowing the city to use condemnation authority to purchase property for redevelopment. In the spring of last year, we took this one step further by recommending the City Council adopt an ordinance authorizing the city to use this condemnation authority to purchase specific chronic nuisance motels, commercial properties in order to reduce the crime and improve the public safety in that general area. City Council did authorize the purchase of the properties, and our Economic Development Group has been working on these acquisitions since last fall. This area is ripe with possibilities. The construction and completion of the Tukwila Village site and a new neighborhood resource center and the library just north of the motels is going to change the look and feel of this neighborhood significantly. We have already been contacted by interested developers and plan to continue those discussions this summer and fall. In other areas of the city, 2 new hotels are under construction or ready to begin construction in the South Center District, or our general urban center area, and plans are underway for a new high-rise hotel condominium apartment project on Andover Park East. We are taking, by the way, that hotel is projected to be 18 to 19 stories tall. That'll be our first high-rise in the area if that comes to fruition. We are taking action to protect and strengthen our economic assets and regional role in the face of changing regional and global economic forces. We have reallocated some of our staff resources in order to increase our communication and build stronger connections with our businesses. When businesses prosper, the whole of Tukwila prospers, and that comes back to the businesses in terms of greater sales and support for them, and it comes back to our residential neighborhoods, sidewalks and street improvements. That's where we get most of our money. I don't think, this is number 2, we're getting close. Number 2 is public safety. I don't think I've ever been more proud of Tukwila than I was on August the 27th of last year when we took back our boulevard, in quotes. The multi-jurisdictional raid and seizure of motels along Tukwila International Boulevard was the largest event of this kind in the state of Washington. This raid was a result of year-long investigations which proved the owners and managers of these properties were not only allowing crime to occur, they were actively profiting from the crime. Over 400 law enforcement officers from multiple federal, county, and local agencies were involved in what has become one of the largest pre-planned law enforcement events to date in the state of Washington. No other investigation in Tukwila history has had such an immediate and dramatic impact on reducing criminal activity in the city. Since the 3 motel seizures, violent crimes in this particular area are down by 48%, and residential burglaries have been reduced by 50%, as documented by our police department. That kind of tells you the activities that were going on centered in the motels if it reduced residential burglaries by 50%. These sites and others in this area will be prime locations for redevelopment, and we anticipate great things for the corridor in the months and the years ahead. It gets me to my number 1. At the top of my number 1 list are the employees who make this city great. We have many employees who have been with the city for over 20 years and many in the 30 years. They are here because they have embraced a career of public service, working across the community and the region to keep people and property safe, roadways clear, to help those who cannot help themselves, to challenge ourselves to find more efficient ways to deliver services, and to support one another in this effort. In March, I had the privilege of visiting the Oso Slide area, Oso, Washington, and witnessed that spirit of service and support from our employees firsthand. Our Tukwila firefighters, emergency management personnel, communication professionals, and others worked side by side with FEMA and other agencies on that massive project to assist in the recovery effort and especially to assist in the draining of the lake. And I might add to that, our firefighters that were involved in that have already made a decal to put on helmets and stuff, and I'll pass this around. It says H2O diversion. It says Tukwila Technical Rescue, Oso, Washington, April the 2nd of 2014. So I'll pass that around. But we had several people involved in that, and I'm proud to say that we played a big part in that recovery effort. We have also made changes in some reporting relationships internally across the city to give more attention and resources to specific areas. We are putting more attention, especially in areas like succession planning. I gave you the 25 and 30-year tenure of a lot of our employees. There's going to be one day down the road when those people with long tenure become retirement age or start thinking about retirement. We have to have a succession plan in effect for every department in the city. We are also providing more training for the employees in all areas, in areas such as cultural awareness, emergency management, and process improvement. How can we streamline and do more with equal or less? Funds just aren't readily available to expand, and you can't keep hiring people. We are committed to learning new skills that will help us improve efficiencies, reduce redundancies, and deliver superior services to all those we serve. I will close by saying that I know everyone could do their own ranking of my top 10 or develop their own top 10. I would hope it would relate to reasons to live, to work, and visit Tukwila, as mine did. For every item I've mentioned, there are probably 10 others that could just as easily be mentioned. This is just my rendition, but it might be a good exercise to go through. There are so many things to do here, wonderful restaurants and shops to visit, parks and trails to enjoy, sporting events. The possibilities are almost endless. I'm proud to say there are no strangers in Tukwila. Everyone is welcome, everyone is important, everyone has a voice, and we are listening. The future is bright for Tukwila. Tukwila is a city of opportunity, the community of choice. Thank you so much.